Hey y'all, Chance Priest here. Priest Toy Safari. I hadn't done one in a couple of months, man, which is crazy because I was doing them like every week or two, and then life has got me in the stranglehold. I'm doing, got big irons and big fires and going different directions. So anyway, I had pulled this tub like a month or so ago and set it out, and I said, man, I'm gonna do a Toy Safari on that because this is the kind of stuff I like, right? And so today we're gonna get it. Now remember, y'all, Victory Comics LLC on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and then Priests, Monsters, Aliens, and Superheroes on Facebook, and then I'm just old Chance Priest, hanging out. So anyway, so y'all follow me, and we'll keep, I'll keep making these things because I got a lot of people ask for them, so I'm happy to oblige. Anyway, this tub is full of stuff that is like my kind of stuff. A lot of people get into stuff and they put blinders on. They're like, and I know y'all, probably a lot of y'all watching this are like this because I used to be. You'll be collecting a certain thing at a certain time period, and you're like, just say you're collecting He-Man stuff, and you're like, no, I can't even look at anything else. I can't even look at anything because you get sidetracked. You start spending money on something else, and it takes away from what you're doing. But as I've said before, when people say, how'd you get such an awesome collection of all this awesome different stuff? And I said, well, because I quit limiting myself like that. I said to myself, hey, if you like it and you can afford it and you can buy it, buy it. It's cool. I don't care if it's a Sofubi, an old space toy. I collect toy soldiers, so a set of toy soldiers. I can look at all the regrets I've had in toy buying and collecting. And a friend of mine and I were talking, and I said, you'd like to say I can't be a collector. I can stop all this crap, and I don't need none of it. But you know what? Let's face it. Most of us, it's our life. Granted, we have our family, which is our life, our religions, or whatever we have, that's our life. But really the big, a humongous part of us, 49% of us is collector, right? Right? Some of us that ain't got none of that. It's 100%, So it's an important thing. I've thought about this, like psychologically. I said, man, what makes me collect like I do? Why am I so passionate about it? Why am I so like into it? And I just, it's the way somebody feels about art. And this is something I say all the time, man. These toys are artwork. They absolutely are, and I would fight anybody that said different. They're not just an old plastic toy. I don't care if not in the 1970s you were making 30 cents an hour over in Hong Kong and you were sculpting or designing toys or doing the package art or whatever. You were still an artist, and they didn't just hire anybody for it. Sometimes in Mexico, I wonder if they just hired anybody for it. No, just kidding. Because I love Mexican stuff so much. Man, sometimes the art is so wacky, looks like a little bit. And I think maybe sometimes they did, they're like, hey, my 12-year-old son will draw that, so it's good. Anyway, actually, I like that more. I call my art 10-year-old art. So I'm a see it like it buy it, and I let my emotions take over. I don't let my brain drive me, which is stupid sometimes because I drive myself broke buying stuff. But that's just part of it. Anyway, I think that's every collector. You're always hanging on the razor's edge, or you done sunk. Anyway, so I like to go after weird stuff, unusual stuff, and I've always loved space stuff, man. I've always loved anything to do with outer space and aliens and monsters and exploring, shoot, man, I like the thought of, when I read stories about, when we were heading west, westward expansion and all the exploration and stuff. Just think how alien that was for people, that maybe grew up in a city. Probably most of them did, grew up in a city or something, and now they find themselves out and they're becoming a frontiersman and they're fighting Indians and bears and marauders. And it's alien, so that's the way I feel about it. It's something looks like any of that exploration stuff. That's the way I feel about exploring other planets and stuff. By the way, it's really hot in here, so if you see me grab a towel and mop it every once in a while, I can't help it. It's hot. Anyway, so I grabbed this box because I said, man, this is like this is my shit, you know, like this is my stuff, you know. Stuff like this turns me on beyond belief. And I'm gonna tell you why, okay? Okay, it's Japan, it's 1970s, and you got this really cool, which I've always loved toy guns. You know, y'all know I shoot, I love real guns, but you got your toy gun, you got a target set. I collect target sets, any kind you're shooting something, you know. But anyway, they put these Pachi little blow mold kaiju in there. You know, I'm not sure if you see them or not, but you know, I do my best on here. Y'all know that. And then it's got some really wild art. And you know, they stuck an old tiger in there, which compared to these guys is pretty blasé. And then you got you got a big old crocodile right there. And so anyway, you got all this cool artwork, and in the back you've got even weirder artwork. Man, I'm just starting to look at it, but of a jungle, you know. But how ridiculous is that, right? But see, I just see it as like otherworldly. I just, you know, because you got aliens and then you got all the natural stuff from Earth anyway. But if you're an alien coming to Earth, that would be all alien, right? So like, is it alien? I don't know. Anyway, I better not start thinking like that because I'll get into a real mess here in my brain. So I got this another target set deal, flying disc machine from Japan, I think. Oh, Tiger Chin. Oh, I love Tiger Chin toys, man. That's the best. Anyway, so it had a little. I was keeping it. So check it out, y'all. You get this awesome gun, a couple of those blow mold Pachi kaiju, and you know, like this is you got Duraco and Mephiles in there. So isn't that neat? I mean, and it's lever action, and it shoots discs, and on the discs is a knockoff of James Bond. Got it all, man. I mean, you got it, and then you got a killer box art, and of course I got this one in immaculate condition, so that's another big old plus. I looked for this forever, and believe it or not, I remember this very gun. I remember finding it, and then like 2 weeks later, I found another one. It's weird. The other one was in a little worse shape, so I sold it. I kept this one. But anyway, you get the picture. Okay, now we're just getting into just a big old ray gun. Okay, Japanese. I think this is 10. I'm gonna say yes, it's 10 before I even open it. Anyway, nope, it's plastic. It's all plastic, which it actually is my favorite. I don't like 10 that much. I like plastic. So anyway, look at that. You got the pom-pom guns going. You got this, you know, I said that some bitch is made in Spain. Isn't that awesome? I just noticed that. Look, I speak Spanish. I read Spanish. It says it on the deal. Anyway, so this is Spanish, and it's a knockoff of a Japanese 10 gun, but it's unused. You know, the stickers, everything's perfect on it. You know, so. Stuff like that, major turn on for me, man. It's got everything going for it. If you threw a couple of little monsters in there with it to shoot, it'd even make it even better. So that's another thing. Now I showed this either in a picture or a video once when I very first started doing this, and this is my space dinosaur gun. And if you ain't never seen it, it's 1980s, as you can tell from the knockoff Transformers and everything. But you think, well, this isn't a gag, this is a toy, you know? But you're thinking, why the hell would you make that, right? Because it's awesome. Because it's never been done, right? I mean, you're basically a kaiju gun, but like, you gotta think to yourself, like, I mean, how is that even possible? Well, we don't know, because we don't live on that world. That's the way I look at it. Totally possible in that world. But anyway, it's unused. I have put batteries in it and it works good. Freaking awesome. Man. Now I didn't have one of these as a kid, but boy, if I would've, it would not look like this. It'd be worn out. I was tender on my stuff, but man, I love to play me some toy gun battles with my friends, you know. Anyway, love that. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. There's some other debris got put in there. Oh, this thing is pretty neat. I picked this up somewhere. Anyway, it's a reproduction of the old Spacemen. It's another deal, man. I love space toys. I love, these didn't break. Archer Spacemen, Anyway, they have I like these newer sets because they all have their helmets and they're all pretty crisp and they all look good. They even have a woman and child in there. Pretty wild. The baby don't got no spacesuit, so I don't know how that's going to survive. But anyway, I don't think they care. You got a robot. Anyway, stuff like that, man. I just love it. I don't know, man. I was that kid that, I just like a bunch of y'all. I hovered around science fiction and horror and all that stuff like that. So anything outer space, and then you throw action in there. Man, you got me. Just like Terminator. Y'all know that's like one of my favorite movies ever. So, just one of these. Here's just a killer ray gun, space roar gun, and it's Japanese. It's Masudaya, and I've seen this thing actually reproduced a bunch of times. So it is not but the Masudaya ones are so nice. Look at that. They even have a little pad to protect the dials on it. Anyway. Whew. Love it, man. Love it. The day they make ray guns, I will officially become a real... I mean, I know they have lasers that shoot stuff down and stuff, but I'm talking like commercial. I'll have one for sure. I'll be the first one out there. I'll have one on layaway somewhere. How's that? Of course, y'all know my tubs, man. They're all mixed up. So this, I just grabbed it because it looked good, but it's all mixed up. A little Lido space shuttle. Made in Hong Kong. Anyway, every time I think of Hong Kong, I think of the first of Enter the Dragon. Well, you have to put it together. But anyway, yeah, it's a little, those little deals that. That's a piece of the package. Y'all know how these old packages, the old cartons, they get rotten. They get just ruined on the inside after a while. But anyway, I guess that just happens. Anyway, pretty cool. Let's see. This is cool. The Disco Especial 2001. We got Spain going again here. No, Argentina, but Spanish speaking. Anyway, it's oh, I didn't even notice this. Well, it's got the gun, okay, that you put together, and I'm not gonna snap it together, and it shoots discs, and guess what? You'd wonder how any of my stuff stays in good shape. But anyway, I got kind of a pad down here, so nothing gets hurt. Anyway, so those are all in good shape, but I'll have to pick that up later. That sucks. Anyway, let's see. Let's go something that I don't have to take out and won't break. Robot. These cheap robots, of course, I guess they're not cheap anymore, but man, I love the hell out of these things. And of course, they're like, knockoffs of good Japanese stuff. That's I can't remember his name, but y'all get it. Anyway, man, I just this stuff. What's weird is I didn't own any of these toys as little, but I feel like I did. You know what I mean? It's so weird because I know I'd have went crazy over all these toys. And well, see, here's where you see like where I went into Five Below and I bought some Z-Bots and stuck them in this thing, just recently. So, maybe a year ago I stuck them in there. See, I don't care. I don't care where it's from, when it's from. If it's cool and I like it, I buy it, and that's just all there is to it. If I can afford it, and sometimes when I can't. There you go, one of those. These are pretty stock and trade ray guns, you get a lot of them, and they, from the 70s. It all busted, around Star Wars and Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon and the movie and from the 80s, right there around 1978 through 1980, that whole time period. Of course, I lived it, man. So it was just wonderful, and I wish I could have, been a toy collector and world traveler, but because I'd have had a lot of this stuff. But I know my little self, and I would have probably been looking for a licensed Star Wars stuff. Like I want the real deal, Mom. It's pretty like me. Anyway, so let's see here. This gun has more incarnations you can shake a stick at right here. There, that shows a black one and a white one. And I know the black's a lot harder to find. I don't know what we got here. We got black, thank goodness. But I have them in different, and it is I mean, it's got, ooh, I gotta take batteries out of that. But look at that. And it's slick, and it's so well made, and it's just so awesome, man. That just turns me on like crazy. We're doing all this new construction and stuff like this right now, and hopefully within about a year we'll have our toy museum up, and all this stuff will be displayed in my toy museum, you know, and it's, you know, it's so fun to think about, you know. There's a Britain's, talk about little cool kaiju, Britain's, those deals there. I don't know, some of y'all have them, I'm sure, but then there's that other critter. This is the green one. Yeah, it's the green one. Anyway, I'm not gonna open it because look at there, Britain's. I love Britain's. There was a certain store in Dallas called Toys by Roy when I was a kid that carried Britain's toy soldiers, the metal ones, and then they had those and stuff like that. Man, I love that. Expensive. So, Granny and you know didn't like it, but anyway, she was so good to me that she'd buy some, maybe sometimes just one, you know, but it was okay because we just wanted one. Love this set, one of my favorites. This gun comes apart into 3 pieces, and it makes into, just like you see the Luke Skywalker knockoff here that looks so much better than actual Luke because he's more manly. Anyway, you got him with a pistol and like a carbine, see, and then a full rifle, so you get it all. And I've had this one out, and what's so cool, look at the little alien that they put on the side and everything. And I think they were copying, maybe this was a cross between Star Wars and He-Man, which they did that a lot. And so, you can't deny the cool ability of it, you know, because it's just all over the place in awesomeness. And that's what I love, right? I love awesome. I got a few more things. Hang on. I try to cut down on these videos, but you know what? Screw it. I ain't gonna make 2. I'm just gonna make 1. This is a pretty unusual one. You can see it's starting to copy from Star Wars, which, I mean, everybody had the Han Solo blaster. I did as a kid. I grew up with it. It was in my toy box forever, and it worked forever, and it was a good, darn good gun. I had a little slip, so that was neat. And it's got a hammer on it, which is even cooler. I think it might it's like snaps like an old. Oh my God, I love that. So here we have serious fantasy action. We've got, you know, your D&D, your He-Man, and your space all rolled into one, and you can make it a target set, which you ain't gonna see me cutting. But when I was a kid, I would have for sure. And you know, when I was a kid, I'd have cut those out, and I'd probably cut around that, and I'd put a thumbtack in the wall. That would have been my way of doing. But anyway, I love that, man. Oh my God, when I give, I mean, of course, Black Star did it first. Let's get real. Well, let's get. You can get farther back. You can get into Hanna-Barbera in the '60s, and they did it first. You know that, like, well, hell, we can go back to the '40s or the '30s, and they had. I mean, we can go even farther back to John Carter of Mars. I mean, so you got barbarians and space all colliding in one, and that's where you got me. That's where you got my goat. You know, when you take Conan, put a ray gun in his hand or a light sword. You know, that's where you stole my heart. You know, that's, to me, that's important. Now, maybe I have this in another configuration here already, but look how awesome that. Yeah, Thunder Fighter. No, it's a little different. This one has a neat belt. It's a Cosmo Phoenix, which is awesome, so awesome. And you know, and there looks like they're wanting to take from probably Voltron a little, probably a little from Robotech, you know, and that's what makes bootlegs. But y'all know these ain't really bootlegs. But that's just the term for it. You know, when you reimagine stuff, and I do it all the time, you know, and everybody does it. Kaiju, like, has been just reimagined over and over, and that's what it's all about. But it's so awesome. And I know I've showed these before, but since I've got them in this box, I'm gonna show them. my favorite Hidden Star figures, probably without a doubt, are the Star Soldier ones. And I mean, the awesomeness is undeniable, man. I get turned on like crazy when I see this. It just makes my creative juices flow, my collector juices too. You know, I just sit there and go, man, me want, I get you all pumped. So anyway, oh man, I just, I think, man, what if I would have had all this, when I was a kid? And I had toys. Don't get me wrong, I had toys and I had comic books and all that stuff like that. But man, I don't know though. I go, would I have appreciated it if I grew up rich and got given everything, and maybe not. I don't know. But boy, wouldn't it have been, I think of playing with. But I don't know. Maybe I wasn't even as happy then as I am now when I get it. So, because sometimes I think, man, I'm more giddy now when I see something new or I buy something shit than I was giddy when I was a kid, But anyway, I've always been a weirdo, so I still am. I'm happy. I'm very happy in my own skin, and that's what you got to be. So anyway, that's this time, and I'm gonna do more space stuff. Do more of these videos. Try to keep it up, y'all. But I got so much going on, Anyway, y'all take care. Victory.